welcome back to my channel, and welcome to a video that I'm sure is exceptionally unoriginal, but I wanted to do it anyway. Y'all know that your girl is sort of kind of in an in-between moment with my content. With my low buy, there's just going to be a lot less reviews. I do, burp squad. Burp squad again. I do have some palettes from Midas that are coming that I want to review. We've got that Kaleidos thing that I want to review. So there are going to be a few reviews coming, but for the most part, there's not going to be nearly as many as there used to be. So I'm kind of in between figuring out the kind of content that I want to do, sort of kind of sandwiching everything. We've got like the sassy rhetoric. I want to keep doing reviews. I want to do get ready with me's. I want to do other content. So amidst all of that, I was like, not all collaboration products are bad. Not every single intellectual property release is stupid. So today I decided we were going to talk about, in my opinion, in my experience, what some of the best collaboration palettes are, or were, as some things are a little bit dated. We are going to be having, this is going to be part 1. We're going to have a part 2 because I do not have in my hot little hands that Kaleidos Club Nebula palette. I know when the restock is happening, I'm gonna be there, I'm gonna get it, and I'm gonna review it. And then after I review it, we're gonna do a part 2 because I am 99.99999% sure that that palette is going to deserve to be on a list like this. But because I don't have that palette right now, we are gonna go through the things that I do have on hand with me. And we're going to start with one that is very near and dear to my heart, the Midas Cosmetics Smoky Glow palette. Now, aside from the fact that Hannah is an absolutely amazing and wonderful creator on this platform, all of that aside, I love this palette. This was the first time I had ever experienced the Midas Cosmetics eyeshadow formula, and it changed my life. This is a palette that I highly recommend. If you like Jeffree Star Blood Sugar vibes, if you like the Natasha Denona Love palette vibes, if you like the Lime Crime Venus XL vibes, this is your jam. It has a beautiful matte to shimmer ratio. The mattes are so smooth and beautiful, buttery, pigmented blend like an ever-loving dream. Absolutely love, let's see here, group chat right here. Love Nutty, love Hello. All of the mattes I love. This was just such a fantastic introduction for me into Midas Cosmetics. I mean, I love for the price, their formula is so stinking good. And I'm really glad I jumped in on this shiz. Honestly, had no idea what I was expecting when it came to the formula, but it was an absolute dream to work with. I would put this shiz, this eyeshadow formula is 110 times better than the majority of Too Faced, Urban Decay, Tarte, kind of that level. I would put this formula well above that. And not just on this palette, I also have their Lemonade palette. I have their High Times palette. I've got a couple of their little foreshadow situation ones, and I just love the care and the quality individualism that goes into each of their products to make it so beautiful. Just love this palette. It was very, I feel, revolutionary within the small beauty guru YouTube family realm, because it was kind of like YouTube makeup history in the works. Like we were seeing as it was happening. We're all like, Hannah's amazing. She's amazing. She deserves all the whatever in the world. Midas Cosmetics was like, hold my beer. And they came out with this beautiful, beautiful collaboration. This is definitely one of the best. It was simple. It was straightforward. It really spoke to her aesthetic and who she was as a person, and created an absolute gorgeous, gorgeous color story with really amazing formulas to back it up. One of my favorite palettes. I don't know if this is limited edition or not. If it is, I really wish that they would make it permanent because this is just a fantastic palette all around. Love the collaborator, love the quality, love the color story, love the packaging. Everything about it just makes me happy. Then if we're going to talk about makeup palette collaborations with people, I would be absolutely negligent if I did not talk about the year of Raw Beauty Kristi. This is the Raw Beauty Kristi X Pure Double-Sided Pressed Pigment Palette. When this was like teased and everyone was buying it and everyone was getting it, I wasn't able to get my hands on it. I kind of got mine on just an accidental whim. I was just like trolling through Ulta and they were like, look what's available. And I happened to have a fair amount of points stocked up, so I was like, all right, I knew I was saving my points for a reason. Check out. This is such a good palette. And this is coming from someone who enjoys a lot of Pure's face care products, complexion products. I'd never been a huge fan of their eyeshadows, so I was seriously going in on this just solely on the reviews and the raving I heard from a lot of people that I knew and trusted, going on the fact that it was Raw Beauty Kristi, you know, and you have I love this side. Gee, could you tell? Because you've got a really nice, bright, funky, whatever side, which y'all know, bright, funky is my favorite, my shiz, my jam. But I've been so loving these beautiful, grungy neutrals. I adore this Camelot shade. If any of y'all can find me a liquid lipstick shade in that color, please to let me know, because when doing this look, when trying this on camera, which any of these that I've reviewed or tried on camera, I will leave that link down below. But when I was doing this look, I realized that what my lipstick collection lacked was a shade that looked exactly like that. It's like a putrid yellowy orangey shade and I love it. The matte to shimmer ratio is fantastic. You get all these mattes, one shimmer, same on the other side, and the quality is just so nice. Honestly, not something that I would have expected from Pure. Like I said, not sure what I was expecting, but probably not the beautiful experience I did get. This is a palette that I've reached for a considerable amount of times, not just because I love the creator, but because I love the colors, I love the quality. If 2020 has taught me anything about me, it's that if there's one thing I love and one thing I can get behind is well-formulated products. You know, I used to be form over function. I mean, I kind of am in my, you know, aesthetic, but it used to be like all about the packaging and the presentation. And while a lot of that is still important, deep down at my core, if the fundamentals aren't there, if we haven't got those good solid formulas, I don't care how nice it looks. I have been turned on by good formulas like the Natasha Denona Glam and Bronze palette, which are two color stories. I don't think anyone would have been like, yes, that right there, that's Sarai's jam. Especially considering the matte to shimmer ratio. But because the formulas were so good, I could look all beyond. It could have been like 12,000 like layers of taupe and I'd been like, but it's so well formulated. And that's sort of how I feel about this, where the formulation is just so good. And I love these three shades here because I'll actually use that all up in here. I just really enjoy this palette. I was kind of about it being a double-sided whatever, but I love it. It's compact, it's sleek for what it is, and it's just a fantastic testament to Raw Beauty Kristi's impact on the YouTube makeup world. I feel like this is an excellent representation of who she is as a content creator, the kind of makeup that she advocates for, and it was just a complete home run for me. But our wonderful lady didn't get just one, but we also had a little something from Colourpop, which is a company y'all know I love and loathe, sort of, you know, on the same level. And they were like, we're gonna release it was a whole collection. I got the glosses, I believe, because I think it happened and I like forgot about it. And then like a couple hours later, I was like, I hope it's still there. So they still had the palette and the glosses. And this is everything I could ask for in this kind of palette. These colors are perfect. I've said it once, I'll say it again. Even if this had not been raw Beauty Kristi, if Colourpop had just released this palette, I'd have bought it because the colors are all my shiz. And not only are all the colors my shiz, this is probably the most interesting thing that Colourpop has come out with in the past, I was gonna say year, but you know, one of the most exciting and interesting and unique things they've released in 2020, in my personal opinion. It has ever so clearly a beautiful matte to shimmer ratio. You got two shimmers and you have these beautiful, glorious, deep, dark, decadent, delicious mattes. I've got these nice, grungy, quote-unquote neutral shades, and we get a little bit dark, we get a little bit of purple, we got green, we got this blue, we got this, just everything about this color story is everything I ever wanted. And it's beautiful, and it's formulated really nicely, which makes me so happy. Colourpop isn't the best about their formulation quality sometimes. They be releasing so many palettes, they just missing on some of them. But this one was a hit. I love using it on its own. I love using this in conjunction with other palettes. This works really well with the Raw Beauty Kristi Pure palette. There's like very little I have to say bad about this palette. Not just because it's absolutely aesthetically pleasing, it's Raw Beauty Kristi. I feel if Colourpop were to literally take the time to calm down, slow down, and put in the time and effort to make such a beautiful, interesting color story that's got a good formula, that's got just everything going for it. It wasn't a huge collection. I think they would do so much better if they just focused on making good standout products that are really interesting and innovative, rather than releasing the same 12 mauve, brown, taupe eyeshadows that they do for every other collection. I love this. It's unique, it's fun, it's beautiful. I feel like it is just such a fantastic palette. I'm kind of sad I haven't heard, like I heard a lot of hype and everyone was like, oh yeah, Raw Beauty Kristi when it came out, but I haven't heard a lot of people talking about it since, and I think it's just fantastic. One of the best things from Colourpop. We're actually going to be talking about two more palettes from Colourpop, this one being one that I had no idea it was a collaboration product when I bought it. And then when I talked about it on my channel, a couple of you were like, yeah, I wish Colourpop had made it limited edition. I wish they made it a permanent palette. And I'm like, that's not permanent. That's stupid. This is the Brown Sugar palette, which is the Carouche X Colourpop. I honestly thought this was just one of their monochromatic palettes, but this is such a beautiful, this and the Going Coconuts palette, which I believe I anti-hauled both of them and I bought them, and they are two of my favorite, just simple, go in on these, you know, no thought, no whatever, they're gonna do what they need to do, no fuss, just basic AF, but absolutely gorgeous neutral palettes. I mean, I love the tones in here. I love the fact that it's neutral, but it's got like that. I like the fact that it's called brown sugar because it's got that like yellowy sort of caramelized kind of overtone to it. Got 6 mattes, you got 3 shimmers. I've got a good dip going in chai, jamocha, amber, chalk right here. Just such a nice, it's like, it's simple, but it's different. And that's what I like so much about this, because y'all know I've been kind of on a, that's not really neutral. I love how I'm like, yellow is a neutral, orange is a neutral. I mean, Urban Decay would have you all up in here thinking that purple was a neutral, which while I appreciate the innovative take on it, it kind of is like, really? Urban Decay, purple, okay. All right. But this was such a beautiful, beautiful, and it's formulated so nicely. Once again, I despise the fact that I have to, like, you know, state that it's formulated well, because Colourpop does have an issue with their formulation consistency. And it's just such a nice little handy, beautiful, dark colored neutral palette. I kind of like with the Raw Beauty Kristi. I just love the shades that were provided up in this thing because they were so pretty. And so I wouldn't say this is so unique compared to a lot of the other stuff they've released since this, but I so stinking love this. And I'm really sad that it is limited edition because it's the same size as one of their monochromatic ones. I just went in thinking, oh, they decided to make a brown one. I love this one using it with the Going Coconuts palette. I love this one on its own. I've used it in conjunction with others. Just an amazing, very simple. This is what I'm saying. All right, Colourpop, I need you to just sit here for a minute. I need you to release simple products. We don't need 12 new blush shades. We don't need 18 new lip gloss shades. We don't need all these Super Shock bundle whatevers. Just release a good solid, 2 to 3 products and we'll be good. Case in point, Colourpop The Child palette. I love this. And I will be straight up and honest, like the Raw Beauty Kristi one. If this had not been cute little Baby Yoda, I still would have bought it because this shiz is my shiz. Look at all those beautiful, earthy, grungy greens. We got 5 shimmers. We got 4 mattes. We've got a nice level of gradation. I've got a good dip going on in Babyface. Little frog right here. Just like a Tatooine I've gone into. Float Your Crib. I mean, every single shade in here is one that I have used and really enjoyed. And if I remember correctly, when they did this, they just did the palette. They didn't do a whole massive collection with new blushes, with new highlighters, with new lip glosses. They just did the Child palette, which I feel is a bit more effective than spending all their time on these sort of just tired and overdone extras. Because if you focus on one thing and you focus on making it really good and stand out and solid, you don't have to worry about filling in all the gaps with all those little teeny tiny extras and whatevers. And you go beyond just being like, this is a solid product with some licensing whatever to it, and you turn into this, let's just see how much cash we can get by slapping Baby Yoda on whatever products we have left over in the warehouse. I feel like just focus, narrow it down. It doesn't have to be everything, and that's not just Colourpop, that's any kind of typically intellectual property collaboration where they just go absolutely balls to the wall and re-release everything with like branding on it. So I was actually really pleased when they decided to just do a palette. I thought that was exceptionally restrained for Colourpop, and I love the outcome. Packaging is simple, straightforward, exceptionally effective. I love the color story. I think it's a beautifully curated, thought out palette. I think I bought this when I bought the Raw Beauty Kristi one. I did try them on in a video together. Loved the look that came out of it. Love this with the Raw Beauty Kristi palette. Love this with the Carouge palette. I love this. I love how multi-purpose it is. I love how simple, straightforward, to the point this is. Something that makes me really happy, and it is an exceptionally effective collaboration because it was just so simple. Simple, but well executed. All right, then last but not least, in this particular video, we are going to be talking about something that I was hoping whenever you buy a new something, I feel like we all have the best expectations, but we still don't really know what's going to happen with it. And these are definitely 2 palettes that I went in thinking, yeah, I'm going to like it. I'm going to enjoy it. But I ended up loving them like even more and beyond I ever thought I would. And these are the Melt Cosmetics X Beetlejuice palettes. One of the main things that I recommended out of the whole collection. If you were to get anything from that collection, get the eyeshadow palettes. This one here is the Waiting Room, which I did do a video trying this as well as other things out on camera. This is a palette that sort of has ignited my passion and love for dark, smoky looks. Because I've said multiple times, for as alternative and goth as I am, I don't wear a lot of black when it comes to my eyeshadow. So taking this one and trying out the grays and the reds with the black and the silver, it just went over really well. And not only did I super enjoy the look I came out with, the quality of these. Like I was expecting typical melt quality, rust palette, 420, Gemini, you know, 27, that sort of situation. But I feel like these are some of the best formulated palettes Melt has come out with. Like, they're just so beautifully formulated. Pigmented, they do have fallout. That is a Melt Cosmetics must. But they were pigmented. They blended like a dream. They looked really good on the eyes. I mean, this here, the Charman shade right here, is my current favorite black. I'm doing a look that's like all green and I want to go in with the black. We go for this purple. We want to go in with the black. It's this. This is the black and these are the grays that I have been reaching for. This is the Recently Deceased, which although I wish it did have the same amount of shades as this one in, I do really love, I adore this shimmer right here. One of my this is like what amazing green shimmer wet dreams are made of. Like, it just kills me. I love this Draw Adore. If you can also, if any of y'all can find me a liquid lipstick that looks like that, definitely let me know. Paranormal is beautiful. I love the Lost Souls and the Bio Exorcist. Basically, if it's a matte, I absolutely love it. I really enjoy I enjoy all of them. That's part of what makes these so stand out in my mind, is because I really enjoy every single aspect of them. I love the commitment to the simplicity, yet capturing the perfect elements on these palettes. I was really impressed with like this acrylic sort of packaging with that kind of inset mirror thing. We've got the sandworm all up in here. It's nice, it's sturdy, it feels good, it looks good. In my opinion, this one looks even better because y'all know your girl loves a yellowy green. Just absolutely stunning. The impressions, just all the attention to detail in this. If they had just released the palettes, I would have been absolutely fine with that. Or if they just released the palettes and maybe a few of the other things, but they did the limited edition mascara. They did the fancy red eyelash curler. They had 3 lipsticks. They had 3 other lip products. They had some like gel eyeliners. Like, it was a whole big situation. And I bought the whole big situation. And if I could go back, I wish I'd only bought the palettes, because those were the 2 things that really just stood out quality wise. Color stories, a little bit redundant, not as I feel well, it's not that they weren't thought out. I would have liked there to be more variation and potentially more colors to really take those color schemes and expand on them and make them a full experience rather than just sort of like a capsule collection, if you know what I mean. And I was also expecting them to be kind of like in the same sort of cardboard packaging situation that Melt does its things in, but I thought the commitment to these at least was absolutely phenomenal. I think it got a lot more flack than it deserved, and I just really absolutely enjoyed both of these, 2 of my favorite palettes from Melt. All right, there we have that part of this video. Like I said, there will be a second part to this, and the second part will be including things that I don't have on hand, as well as some things, some collaborations that I think are really good that I haven't actually purchased. So I can't attest to their quality, but I'm coming from like an aesthetic sort of way. Coming from an aesthetic point of view where you look at something and you're like, yes, that is right on brand for the brand itself as well as for the collaboration they're doing it with. Because a lot of times I feel, you know, with all the collaborations we're doing with people, with, you know, different industries, with movies, with just all this sort of thing, there can be a lot of, I feel, missed opportunities. We've talked about that before on my channel, but these were just some of the ones that I'd experienced that were really just at their core amazing, perfect collaboration products in formulation, aesthetic, how they related to who or what they were collaborating with, and ones that I just really enjoy. I would love to hear what y'all have to say about the palettes I talked about today, as well as a collaboration product that you think is the bomb diggity shiznit end all be all. I look forward to seeing you all in the next installment of this, but thank you guys so much for watching. I love you, and as always, keep it real. Mwah!